Ogden Publications is a small, diversified media company. We have about 8 magazines and websites that accompany the magazines. We have some dedicated websites. And we cover really 3 topic areas. One is sustainable lifestyles. The second topic area is rural lifestyles. And then we have several magazines for people who collect machinery, like antique tractors and classic motorcycles, things like that. I'm Brian Welch. I run Ogden Publications, publishers of Mother Earth News, Natural Home, and half a dozen other magazines. Of course, we feel that we've done a lot of things right. We feel like we've done a nice job of surveying the readers, of learning about what the readers are looking for, and tailoring the magazine to those desires. But it's also true that in the last several years, the American public's interest in sustainable lifestyles has been becoming stronger, more intense, and so part of what's happening is a reflection of what's happening in the society at large. You know, until the last 3 or 4 years, we were flying blind in this business, and we as editors, we felt like we were wise enough, prescient enough, as it were, that we could decide how the magazine or how the newspaper or how a television show should be crafted purely out of our own sense of creative endeavor. All the great magazine and media franchises in general throughout history were crafted in this way. For us, the most pivotal, the most revolutionary change is that we can inexpensively and rapidly survey our readers about all kinds of things.
Right now when we do our surveys, we use SurveyMonkey. Hi, my name is Sherilyn Almstead. I'm Circulation and Marketing Director. It's an online survey tool that we direct when we send out an email promotion to our list of email addresses. We direct them to an online link. It's cool because we can do all of our surveys in-house. We don't have to rely on an outside company to do it. We can set them up easily ourselves. We determine what questions we want to ask.
I can ask them, okay, here are 12 covers. Which do you find most attractive? And then the next day I can narrow it down to 3, and I can ask the same audience, okay, you picked these 3. Which of these 3 do you find most attractive? There were lots of revelations coming out of those surveys. And so we've become really dedicated to constantly and persistently surveying the audiences to make sure we understand what turns them on. I remember sitting at my desk with my Macintosh Plus, grunting along, taking 90 seconds or 2 minutes to load a web page and thinking, wow, this is like a miracle. Imagine what we can do with this. We're measuring how long people stay on a given page. Which pages do they go to, what they buy while they're there, and where they go from there. Our advertisers know how likely they are to click through to the advertiser's website. So our knowledge of how effective our medium is extremely powerful today.
I think one of the big challenges that we're recently faced with is the cost of just postage and printing and direct mail, and also decreased response. When I first started in publishing 20 years ago, direct mail was it. We're actually building and working towards adding contests and sweepstakes and that sort of thing. We're building that into our online sites to be able to collect demographic information at the same time that we're developing these sweepstakes offers. So trying to work together with advertising sales to get the advertisers to put up the particular product that we want to offer as part of our sweepstakes. It's an added benefit for the advertisers, but one of our big goals is to drive email addresses, and we use that information in a variety of different ways.
When we do a direct mailing, for instance, to solicit for subscribers, we'll create in one direct mailing for one magazine 2,000, maybe 2,500 new source codes. That means in one mass mailing, one January day, we have created 2,500 different versions of the offer, which we are mailing to 1 million people in the aggregate. We have to be able to measure every element of the response to those 2,500 different offers. We have to be able to measure how many people respond, how many people pay the bill, how many people renew a second time, how many of them come from which source. All of that stuff is extremely important to getting the promotional thing to work. So measurement has always been a big part of the business, and today on the internet, there are all these different ways of measuring the monetary value, the financial value of one audience member. And so we're trying to get better now at figuring out what stickiness means in terms of financial value, what unique visitors mean in terms of financial value, what repeat visitors mean in terms of financial value. All that is yet to be defined.
So do you have anything interesting on other news, newsstand numbers, circulation, anything like that?
We're averaging 110,000 copies sold for the beginning of 2000.
I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt that the 5-year forecast is accurate 6 months out. And beyond that, it is wildly inaccurate. We need to be able to not make an investment we planned to make 9 months ago. And we need to make an investment we never thought of 9 months ago. So we call it a forecast and try to free our minds to invent new stuff all the time and to not do things even though we had money committed to them because it turns out they really didn't make sense. And I think that's been a powerful tool for us and helped us accomplish some things that we wouldn't have if it hadn't been for that sort of flexibility in our planning process. I think our biggest challenge today is accurately predicting the evolution of the media. We know that engagement is what drives dollars to our advertisers. But engagement has historically been hard to measure, and the atmosphere has been fogged, has been clouded by a lot of competing claims by different media about how you should measure that. We need to get to a real good formula for measuring engagement in order to serve the advertiser's interests. At the same time, that will serve the interests of affinity publishers like us. That's a huge project, it's going to be a tough thing, and not all of my peers in the media are on board with me on this. So it's an uphill climb. In the long run, I think it's going to create a ton of value, but it will be an uphill climb.